right, folks, it's been a fun week of CAA football, and we're on to the next one. I'm Carly Smith here with Rob Washburn, giving you 3 things to watch for week 3. And Rob, it's an exciting one because we're starting to see some conference games ramp up. But first, let's tip our hat to some coaches who picked up their first wins at the helm. Campbell's Braxton Harris, big nationally ranked win. Congratulations, sir. Hampton's Trent Boykin and Stony Brook's Billy Kosh, both collecting week 2 wins. A lot of hugs and ice baths flying around post-game, and we just want to wish them congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to all 3 guys who are certainly making a positive impact on those programs early on, and I'm sure there are many more to come.
Enjoy it, coaches, and we're looking forward to the next one. Okay, let's start this week by highlighting one of those shining moments in the league. Campbell collected their first win in program history over a nationally ranked FCS opponent. The Campbells defeated number 17 Western Carolina 24-16 on the road. They'll face a Rhode Island team that's coming off of a tough loss at Minnesota, but showed a ton of promise in their gutsy week 1 victory against Holy Cross. Both teams are battle-tested early. Rob, what are you looking for on Saturday?
Yeah, Carl, this is a fun matchup between 2 teams that have shown early that they can be both playoff caliber squads. Both are led by quarterbacks who have stepped into starting roles after serving as backups a year ago and have taken advantage of that opportunity. Campbell's Chad Masco Jr. overcame a tough start to throw for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns in last Saturday's victory at Western Carolina. He's completing better than 60% of his passes and has developed great chemistry with big play receivers Sincere Brown and B.J. Wilkins. Now, Rhode Island's Devin Farrell struggled last week at Big Ten Minnesota, but we saw what he could do in week 1 in the win over Holy Cross with 287 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He also makes plays as a runner and has an explosive receiver on the outside in Marquise Buchanan. One key stat to watch in this one is turnovers. Campbell's +4 in turnover margin, and Rhode Island is -7. The teams that take care of the ball in this game will likely have an edge, and a lot of the responsibility falls on those 2 quarterbacks.
That's right. Okay, let's hear what Campbell's Braxton Harris and Rhode Island's Jim Fleming had to say about week 3.
So I think it's a week by week. We have a one game season this week, and it's an opening game against Rhode Island in CAA play, and we've got to be able to. What's happened in the past last week was good, but we've got to be able to move forward in that spot. And so, for our guys, I think it's being locked in on what is the challenge task at hand, and really focusing on us.
We've got to manage the ball. We can't win when you're -7 in the turnover margin, and our ability to get it off of people is eluding us right now. We practice it, we emphasize it. We got to do a better job, obviously, coaching it to make sure that the ball gets on the ground defensively, because we're to even that number up, to get closer to 0 and then hopefully in the plus, it's going to take a team effort.
That game airs at 6 p.m. on Flow Football from Kingston, Rhode Island. Okay, moving on to our second thing to watch. We've got a top 25 matchup happening in FCS this weekend. Number 17, UAlbany travels to number 4, Idaho, and a brand new year, but definitely some familiarity between these 2 teams, having met in the 2023 FCS quarterfinals. UAlbany won that game to advance to the playoffs. Rob, your thoughts?
Yeah, last year's 30-22 victory by UAlbany over Idaho in the KB Dome was likely the biggest in program history, and I'm sure the Vandals haven't forgotten. Both teams come into this game battle-tested as the Great Danes played at West Virginia last Saturday, and Idaho has faced FBS teams Oregon and Wyoming to start the year, and they upset the Cowboys 17-13 last week. Now, big plays, especially in the passing game, were a key for UAlbany a year ago, and new quarterback Miles Burkett is coming off a solid performance at WVU, where he threw for 306 yards and a touchdown. UAlbany running back Griffin Waddell should have great memories after stealing last year's playoff win with a 29-yard touchdown run in the final minute. They will need to be at their best against the Vandals defense that has been excellent over the first 2 weeks, allowing less than 19 points per game. It will be a loud and wild atmosphere inside the Kibbie Dome as 2 of the top teams in FCS go head-to-head.
Let's hear what UAlbany's Greg Gattuso had to say prior to the matchup.
I know Coach Eck, he's really loves to get into all that hype and motivational stuff. They'll be ready to play, and that's the big thing for us is to make sure we're ready to meet that enthusiasm in a hostile environment to play our game.
Tune into that one at 4 p.m. on ESPN. Plus, our third thing to watch. Rob, it's a fascinating matchup. Villanova and Towson. Towson just defeated Morgan State in the Battle of the Greater Baltimore. Villanova's 2-0 on the year, and they seem just to be firing on all cylinders right now. So what are your expectations for Saturday?
Yeah, it's the conference opener for both teams, and I'm expecting a very competitive game. The contest features a Towson offense that ranks second in the CAA at 392 yards per game against a Villanova defense that is number 1 in the CAA, giving up only 292 yards and 10 points a game. Guiding the Tigers is quarterback Carlos Davis, who's thrown for over 200 yards in each of his first 2 games, and Towson has also been effective running the ball with a 3-back rotation led by Devin Matthews. Villanova is coming off a dominant defensive effort last week, holding Colgate to just a field goal and 264 yards. The dynamic linebacker duo of Brendan Bell and Shane Hartzell combined for 38 stops in the first 2 weeks, and the Wildcats are CAA's best +4 in turnover margin. Villanova outgained Towson by 340 yards and outrolled to a 33-10 win in last year's matchup. I'm guessing this one's going to be a lot tighter.
Sure will. Let's find out what Towson's Pete Shinnick and Villanova's Mark Ferrante had to say about the game.
Extremely talented, extremely well-coached football team. We're going to have to be at our best, and we're going to have to play, a great game up there in Philly to be able to stay with them.
We don't talk about the defending of the championship. We don't talk about national or any type of rankings. It's a new season and a new beginning, and we're fortunate enough to come out on top in 2 non-conference games, and now we're going to get ready for the CAA. So, and we all know what challenges that brings.
Catch that game at 3:30 on Flow Football, and of course, many other exciting matchups all around the league this weekend. So let's take a look at our full Week 3 schedule. From Rob Washburn and I, thank you so much for tuning in to another week of 3 Things to Watch. Follow along throughout the weekend on CAAfootball.com and at CAAfootball, on social media for live results, recaps, and more. Same time, same spot next week. We'll see you then.